Hello everyone, I'm Antromer and I welcome you to the first episode of playing the oldest, the most legendary game that has probably been out here. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And we'll be playing through it on the randomizer rules, which means that our character is going to have randomized specialities every few levels, which will randomize as well. In case some of you don't know the game, I will explain. This is the fifth part of the franchise The Elder Scrolls. It's called Skyrim, of course. Most of you, if not all of you, have probably heard of it. And, well, maybe the Elder Scrolls franchise wasn't so popular and well known before the third part of the franchise, which was Morrowind, and the fourth part of the franchise, which was Oblivion. But the popularity of this franchise really blew out of the proportions after the release of Skyrim. Yep, and that was the line. That's the most famous line of this whole franchise, most probably.
And that thief over there.
Yeah. For you who are pretty familiar with this game, we'll be doing randomized rules, which I don't really know if it have been done before. We are playing on the standard version of Skyrim, the 2011 release version, with no mods, just all DLCs, the Legendary Edition. You know how it is. The Legendary Edition really adds a lot of content. We'll be playing through this game like from the beginning to the end. I will try to complete everything that's possible. And I will also try to explain the most of the rules of the randomizer. So you know how Skyrim has its perk system, the really famous, pretty fun perk system, which was a new addition to the Elder Scrolls franchise. It wasn't seen before in neither Oblivion nor Morrowind. It really added a lot of depth to the gameplay. I mean, now that we look at it in 2020, it really isn't that impressive, but for 2011, it was pretty damn good, to be honest. And it has the perk trees, like around 6 for every category. For mages, the agility or thieves,
and it looks like the Dalmor are with them.
Warriors.
I bet they had something to do with
Each one
this.
can be progressed through by using these skills. You can level up, and after a certain amount of level ups in the perk trees, you can level up your character, which will permanently increase HP, magic, and or stamina points. And, well, we have about 19 or 18 of these perk trees, some of which correspond to main hand combat, like for example one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, conjuration and destruction, etc, etc. So these are the it will be a different category for those. They will be randomized differently. Also, there is light armor, heavy armor, and no armor, which doesn't have a correspondent perk tree, but the first two do. And we will randomize that as well. And then we have the field perks. Field perk trees, like for example illusion magic, or enchanting, smithing, pickpocketing. We'll also randomize those as well.
Empire loves their damn lists.
And the tricky thing about this whole gameplay on the randomized Skyrim will be that after I randomize 2 of these field perk trees and 2 main hand combat trees and armor trees, I won't be able to use the other one, with the only exception being if I need to use it to pass a quest. That's the only exception, because otherwise we might, like for example, it might be required to have an alteration
Step forward.
used by the playable character.
Who
And
are
there
you?
is a chance, not much, but there is a chance of us never actually getting the randomized alterations skill tree. Okay, and again, for the people who don't know the series and aren't as familiar with it, the Elder Scrolls series does have races. It has few humanoid races, few beast races, and elves. The Skyrim is the geographic place where Nords are native residents. It's their home place pretty much, and so throughout most of the gameplay, most of people we meet will be Nords. But there's also orcs, which don't really have a homeland. They live usually between Skyrim and its northern and northwestern neighbors, High Rock. We also have Redguards, which live in Hammerfell. We have Wood Elves, which live in... I don't really remember, to be honest. It should be written. Valenwood, yeah, Valenwood Forest. We have Khajiit, a cat humanoid beast race, I guess. We'll be playing as Khajiit because it fits the playstyle mostly, because we also have a category of main hand combat unarmed, and Khajiit do have a speciality in fighting with their bare fists. So we'll be choosing that pretty much for the sole reason, and also Khajiit are a really cool race, although in the lore they are a lot better than in the actual games. We have Imperials, which are the southern neighbors of Skyrim and Nords. We have High Elves, which will be pretty much the main antagonistic race of this game. We have Dark Elves, the eastern neighbors of Skyrim and Nords. Bretons, they live in High Rock, so they're western neighbors. And we also have the other beast race, Argonians. We could also be playing an Argonian, as they also have a minor unarmed damage increase built into the race, but it's not as significant as the Khajiit. But I also love playing as an Argonian. They have a really cool history, lore, whatever. But we'll be playing as a Khajiit, and I'm not really big on creating characters. We'll be playing a male Khajiit because no one plays female Khajiit. It's I don't know, it's a stigma. We'll be getting pretty barely with this Khajiit. I will be doing him some scars, adding them as well. You know, it's a cat, so it should have a scar or two. We'll be maybe giving some war paint, I'm not sure about it. But I know the hairstyle which we'll be choosing. Yeah, red paint is pretty good. I will try to keep it as brief as possible. Also, we'll be randomizing things like fast travel. Will it be either enabled or not? If we can use a Daedric artifacts or no? And also on what difficulty we'll be playing. And in case any of you are wondering, we'll be applying all of the random rules after the first quest. We will not be applying them throughout the tutorial, just to make life a little easier, to show you guys who do not know the game what it's all about. And that's pretty much it. We will also not be changing difficulty in the tutorial dungeon because it's really not cool. We'll be making really white jaw for our friend here, because he needs a strong jawline to make enemies build him. We all know this. Guys with huge jawlines are pretty impressive. And pretty intimidating as well. So we'll be giving our cat guy a jawline, pretty much, a big jawline. Well, let me add some neck color, because why not? We'll be jumping into eyes. Oh god. We'll be fine with those. Khajiit have also pretty cool eye models. They have a lot of different eye models compared to the humanoid races and the elves. They and Argonians as well. We'll be giving our little cat here the I think it's cyan color. I'm not sure. I'm not really big on colors, but it fits the frozen theme of Skyrim, as well as, you know, in my hometown the snow fell for the first time in like few years, and it's pretty climactic. I think it's pretty equivalent to the color of the snow, the color of ice. We also give some more depth to the eyes, and no, maybe widening them is not a good idea for a Catman, for a Khajiit. Also, Khajiit are known to have a pretty funny dialect, which is really fun. Okay, we'll be ending pretty much right now, because I don't feel like messing around with brows and mouth. I will probably make a timestamp for everyone who wants to skip character creation, and we'll be adding some facial hair, of course. The moustache is very bad. I think they should be. And this is the only one that's really befitting for our character. We'll be giving him some maybe ginger hair. I don't think it's a good idea, to be honest. A black hair will be fine. And our character will be named Bohun, because why the hell not?
You with one of the trade caravans, Khajiit? Your kind always seems to find trouble. Captain, what should we do?
Khajiit
He's not
are
on the
native residents
Forget the
of
list.
the
He goes to the
Elsewhere.
bar.
Elsewhere?
By your orders, Captain.
It's pretty much a desert
I'm sorry.
cougar
We'll make
with
sure
a
your
jungle.
men are turned to elsewhere.
It's
Follow the
next,
captain,
they are
prisoner.
mostly known, the land Elsewhere is mostly known for being the neighbors with Valenwood and the Wood Elves. Yeah. We are right now being prosecuted for crossing the border illegally, just when the rebellion of the land of Skyrim were trying to overthrow the Imperium, the
Skyrim into chaos, and now the
yeah, the
Empire is
Imperium,
going to
pretty
put
much.
you down and
the
restore
Empire.
peace.
Oh, I found the word. And the Stormcloaks are trying to overthrow the Empire.
Carry on.
Because they
Yes,
think
General
it's been
Tullius.
harming
Give
Skyrim
them their
more
last
than
rites.
doing
As we
good.
commend your souls to Aetherius, blessings of the
And
eight
most of
divines
you
upon you.
probably know
Let's get this
what
over
Skyrim is known for,
As you wish.
and we will see that too, if you don't.
I
know.
haven't got all morning.
And yeah, we'll be doing the main dungeon pretty quickly, so this video probably won't be long.
My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperials. Can you
And
say
well,
the
it
same?
must be pretty uncomfortable for our Bohun here to be the only one who is a beast race around these parts. There is literally no one else than Imperials, Nords,
As
and maybe
fearless in
Bratons.
death as he was in life.
But you know,
Next, the cat.
every race can be a hero.
Here
Who
it
you
is
are
again.
doesn't matter.
Did you hear that?
I said next prisoner.
To the block, prisoner.
And so
Nice and easy.
we'll be getting decapitated. And the game will end. It's about time, like around 15 minutes to complete this game. I think speedrunners could do it in like, I don't know, maybe 5. With all the cutscenes combined.
What in
Oh, well.
oblivion is that?
Sentries.
Yo, that's a
What do you
thing.
see?
I forgot about it actually. But yeah. So we are being saved from our execution by a dragon. And not any dragon, don't you think? The guardian himself, the Eater of Worlds. And he will be our main antagonist for the most part of the game. And we'll be following Rayleigh. Rayleigh is a really cool guy. He's
What is that
from
thing?
Cloak.
Could the legends be true?
And this is Jarl, Ulfric Stormcloak, which is also a really cool guy. He is the Jarl of the capital for the Stormcloaks, the rebellion. This guy is no more now. We have other intelligent people we can really jump onto him and onto our next location. I will try to not really go as fast as it's possible. This guy will die, but not if we just start quickly. A dragon will try off. Usually he would have burned him, but we pretty much fired off the script and made it so the guy survived. Yep. We are like 15 minutes in and we already saved a life. That's being a hero in a nutshell. That's being the main protagonist. And here we have Raylock and Hadvar. And we'll be choosing between Stormcloaks and the Empire. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. It only changes the equipment, etc. But everyone always chooses Raylock, so I'm gonna go get with Hadvar. Although, now that I think about it, maybe I should have gone with Raylock. It doesn't matter. We can join the Stormcloaks later on.
Was that really
Either
a
way.
dragon? Bring us of the end times.
Yep, it was the
We should keep
Stormcloak
moving.
and
Come here. Let me see if I can get those bindings off.
Okay, we are back up after a little interruption. So yeah,
There you go. Take a look around. There
Hadvar
should be
will
plenty of gear to choose
free
from.
us of our
I'm going to see if I can find
bindings,
something for these books.
which the Imperials themselves applied. So that's pretty
Got to be a
nice.
sword or two in one of these chests.
And we can search through Warden's chests and grab
Gonna get that
ourselves some
armor.
equipment.
Give that sword a few swings too.
I will also show you, you know, all the spells we have. So every race comes with both flames, healing, and a special power that's exclusive to the race itself. Khajiit starts with an Night Eye, improved night vision, which is like, you know, it's useless pretty much. But we'll leave it with it. We also have healing and flames, which is a destruction spell and restoration spell, which are pretty good for the first spells. And our passive is claws, which make Khajiit do 15 points of damage with their bare fists.
Let's keep moving. That thing is
Additional
still
15
out there.
damage. That means that right from the get-go, we outperform the most basic sword in the game by like 2 or 3 times. That's pretty good. We also have some basic armor. And we'll be starting off. We also have another sword here. I will also check to make sure I have the default difficulty. And we do. So indeed, we can start our adventure. This dungeon isn't really long. It's pretty fast indeed. If you know where to head to. And if your NPCs don't get blocked, I mean, it shouldn't even matter, to be honest. But yeah.
We need to get moving. That dragon is tearing up the whole keep.
Here we have some Stormcloak survivors.
Hear that? Stormcloaks. Maybe we can reason with them.
Hazard trying to be reasonable. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Hold up now.
You want to die?
And well, it... What a surprise. Oh dear. We can just spam him with some default attacks. Yep. And Hagvar is gonna finish that one.
Let me see if I can get that.
Also remember, it's pretty good to pillage some equipment of these guys, because it's some gold. It's some fun. Although if you went with the Stormcloaks, the Imperial armor is worth way more, like actually way more. Like compared, Stormcloak Cuirass is like 25 gold, while the Imperial light armor is 75. That's a pretty big difference, like a landslide. And yeah, we'll be heading on down, because we need to progress through this dungeon. We'll be waiting for Hagvar, because I don't really feel like fighting the two guys in here alone, although we could. It's the expert difficulty, isn't it? Oh, okay, it's not the default difficulty, but it is what
It's nothing.
to be honest. Hagvar, do something. What the fuck don't you do? The damage done by these guys isn't really all that impressive so far.
I know a store.
Yep,
See if you can
the
find some.
Hagvar is pretty good. I hope I get one. It's really helpful. And well, there's also an upside to going with the Imperials, because the Stormcloaks use two-handed weapons a lot, which are worth a lot more than the one-handed weapons. So that's pretty good.
Done then? This way.
Yep, we're done. And we'll be moving on forward to completing the dungeon.
The torture room. God.
This guy is pretty much Hagvar's champion right off the bat. And this guy is just getting ganked on. But, you know, it do happen.
Those happened along just in time. These boys seemed a bit upset
We
at
have
how
a
I've been
torturer,
entertaining
and
their
we have some
comrades.
closed cage
Don't
doors,
you even know what's going
which we'll be
on?
able to
Dragon is
open
attacking
soon,
Helgen.
because right now we don't have any
Dragon,
lockpicks, which are
please,
required to
don't make
open
up
locks.
nonsense.
But if we really want to,
Although
you
come
don't
to
even
think
need
of
to
it,
open
I
this
can
door
hear
to
some
grab
odd
all this
noises coming from
premium
over
loot.
Come
You
with
can
us.
just
We need to get out of here.
come a bit closer,
You have no
peek through
authority
the
over me, boy.
peek through the hole, and you can just steal the equipment right off, as well as the book.
Forget the old man.
I'm
I'll come with
pretty
you.
sure you can
Wait a second.
download
Looks
it.
like there's something in this cage.
I mean, not download it,
Don't
grab
bother
it.
with that. Lost the
I
key
do.
ages ago.
However, will give us some lockpicks, so we can complete this part of the tutorial. You have some book here. Brief History of the Empire Volume 2. We'll be taking that with us.
Please.
And
Grab what you can and let's
we
go.
can also grab some lockpicks from here. Look at the Dragon Door, we'll be taking this as well. And we can open the cages for some experience. The lockpicking system in Skyrim is like the most obvious lockpicking system ever. Like, it's really boring. The Oblivion system is way better, I think. Maybe not better, but interesting and frustrating at the same time. But yeah, we'll be grabbing all of the loot here, because we'll be needing every penny out here. Because if we roll a legendary difficulty after exiting the dungeon, it might be pretty tough with some badly chosen randomly weapons. I will be of course showing the rolling. We'll be doing that on random.org. So yeah, so everything's legit. We'll be using the rules. Like, what is happening with these locks? These are only novice. Oh yeah, lockpicking system is like a bummer. Also, lockpicking is one of the few perks within our roulette. So if we don't have lockpicking as our field perk, we will actually won't be able to open and lock.
Just give me a minute.
Except the quest one, the required ones. Here will be a pretty big bloodbath, as we have 4 enemies. It shouldn't really be a problem now that all the friends came. We have some fire spells. Also, in case of you are wondering, howls and shouts are also categories of perks, because otherwise it wouldn't be an even number.
You still can.
Yeah. Expert difficulty also raises the stats of the NPCs that are fighting alongside us, so not make the first dungeon pretty easy, except for the legendary difficulty. Those guys in legendary are just straight up unkillable. Here we have Creep Oil, which is a terrain interaction. You can use fire and it will explode with things, just as you saw. So here we have our first shoot, and might as well take it, like, why not? We'll take the bow, although I don't think we'll be able to use it. I'm also up the fucking weight cup. We'll be ignoring headbar and head far into the dungeon. So yeah, that was a fun. If you turn left from here, you can grab yourself a coin purse and a minor healing potion and some gold on the way. It may come in handy. Like, you should also back off for hardware every now and then. Where is he? Like, actually. I don't know. Those NPCs are just out of their mind. So yeah, we won't be completing the dungeon together with hardware. Now, yep, that's a ragdoll and a half. We are gonna get used to it. Here we have some spooders. Yeah, they are pretty easy. They won't give us any problem at all. Like, why would them? I can poison us, which is pretty annoying, but poison is pretty weak in this game, to be honest. And yeah, we'll be completing the dungeon very soon. Like right here, if you are with hardware or Raylock, you can actually push them into this river, into this corner of the river, and sneak strike them in the back, like just hours on end, and grind up to the 100 level sneak. Like, actually that's insane. You can hit 100 sneak in like, I don't know, maybe half an hour of the game. So here we have the perk trees, because I haven't shown them before, and each race comes with an increased level in chosen categories. Khajiit have increased one-handed archery. They have really good sneak at 25. Lockpicking 21, pickpocket 20, and alchemy 20, because Khajiits are known for being merchants as well as thieves. And here we have a bear. We will get some meat, because it gives us some bear parts. They will be useful if we get smithing. If not, then whatever. We have the carry limit, so we'll be throwing off some useless equipment. I don't need food wraps. I can throw away a Stormcloak cuirass. And yep, I could show you usage of a bow. This whole sequence with a bow is pretty much supposed to be a bow tutorial, a sneak bow tutorial, as well as show a killing move, a killing blow, because if you haven't noticed, or maybe you just don't know it because you haven't played the game all that much, as me, killing blow will always proc on the bear. There's no way for it not to do it. I mean, there probably is, but it's like, if you don't actually fight, but like, bug the bear out. And Harboris just show themselves, and my frame rate is actually dying. But we'll be ending the episode either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Looks like he's gone for good this time.
We'll be also saving the game.
But I don't think we should stick around to see if he comes back.
I'm with you.
Closest town from here is Riverwood.
Oh, yeah. Right now I will switch onto my desktop. And we'll be doing the randoming. I'm just gonna make sure everything is visible. Yep, so here we are. And as you can see, we have everything up and running. Here we have on which level, or more like after what amount of levels will be re-rolling again. Here we have our main weapon, which will be limited to using. There's no way not to use it. If we roll unarmed, we can't use any of the other 5. Here we have armor. Like, for you, those of you who does not know and think having no armor is pretty limiting, well, you are not exactly wrong, but there are ways to increase your armor without actually having an armor stat. But it requires an alteration spells. I think there are also some other ways, but alteration spells. So if we get no armor and we actually don't get alteration, we just have to stick with no armor. Here we have the field skills, like there are some better ones, some worse ones, like I don't know, man. Alteration block is pretty alright, I think. Restoration alchemy is nah. Also, if we don't have alchemy rolled, we can't use potions, just throwing that out there. We can't do stealth if we don't roll smithing. We can't use shouts with the exclusions of like required for quests and etc. But yeah. So we have daybreak artifacts, fast travel, and followers. We have no followers, only pet followers like dogs, horses. I mean, maybe not horses exactly, but you know, dogs and death hounds pretty much, and maybe like crows. We have followers only, so humanoid followers, and we have difficulty at last but not least. Now we'll be rolling from 1 to 6 for the level roll. And we have 2, so level 6. Now the main weapon, like those 2 are gonna be the most relevant, together with difficulty. Difficulty can be like the final nail to the coffin. We have 5. We actually got unarmed. That's crazy. That's actually really good. That's crazy good armor. We got 5. No armor. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad, not gonna lie. We need an alteration skill. We need a 3. And we got a 3. That's clean. So our start is gonna be pretty easy, I think. Like, it's pretty hard to mess this startup. Like, we actually need to get like legendary difficulty for it to be difficult. So Daedric artifacts, I don't think they would matter a lot. I mean, there are some really good early game Daedric artifacts that you can get right off the get-go. Like, I think it was the Namira's ring. It's really crazy. If we maybe will try to get it for an easy start, but I'm not sure about it. So yeah, we got an odd, so no Daedric. No Daedric. Fast travel. 2, it's an even, so we do have fast travel. Followers. In the early game it doesn't really matter. We have followers only, which is alright. And last but not least, it can really matter a lot, the difficulty. And we got expert, so we got a really good start. And yeah, just in case you're wondering as well, like maybe on like, I don't know, level 20, 15, we'll see about that. I will be removing the expert difficulty because it might become too easy. Like, you just saw, we just ran through the tutorial dungeon without any problems. Enemies weren't any problem at all. But yeah, so expert difficulty isn't really that difficult. Master is like depending on your set, and legendary is like it's pretty bad because enemies are just damage sponges and they deal a lot of damage. It's really not that fun. But yeah. So that will be all for today, folks, and thanks for tuning in. Up from the next episode onward, we'll be using all of these rules on our lovely Khajiit Bohun. So yeah, hope you guys had fun, and see you next time. Peace.